7 of the world's biggest banks facing a wide-ranging new investigation as the Libor scandal ripples outwards. Barclays, RBS, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase and UBS all subpoenaed in a joint New York, Connecticut probe into manipulation of the benchmark international interest rate. Barclays, of course, has already lost its chairman and CEO and paid a $450 million fine over the Libor scandal. The question now must be whether heads will roll at the top of other banks allegedly involved. Turning to the Eurozone, Thursday's economic data centers on inflation. The annual rate of CPI forecast at 2.4% in July, unchanged on a month earlier. Still above the ECB's target of just under 2%, but probably not enough in itself to prevent more economic stimulus by the central bank. And here in the UK, falling inflation should eventually translate into a boost for retailers. London 2012 should also bring an Olympic lift at the giant Westfield Centre near the stadium. For now, poor summer weather keeping shoppers away from the tills, and sales in July likely to show a monthly fall of 0.1%. That data out later on this morning. Hope of more stimulus from the ECB driving bunds to 6-week lows this week. Let's get to Thomas Kosteg, European economist, Standard Chartered. Morning to you, Thomas. Let's get that out of the way first. What are your expectations from Mario Draghi next month?
Well, we think Mario Draghi will cut rates to address the growth risk. We have seen a very weak Q2 GDP. We think growth will weaken even further in Q3 and could remain in negative territory in Q4. So we think the ECB will have to address those growth risks by cutting rates. And on top of this, of course, we're waiting for more detail about the bond buying plan to support the peripheral bond market.
And in the meantime, of course, more hints in Spain that they're going to accept a bailout for the banks. How likely is that, and what does that mean for a more general bailout?
Well, indeed, I think in the coming days we may have some news about activating the bank bailout and receiving the first tranche, which is 30 billion euros. Key is whether Spain will accept a full program, which is key to activating the ECB bond buying plan. We think it will be the case. We think it may come in the coming weeks, probably around September, especially as the economic data in Spain remains weak and bond yields are still high, although they're down from July levels.
And I know you're a European economist. Can I get a quick word though on the UK data today? Clearly it's important. What's it going to tell us, and especially about the Olympic boost?
Well, yes, indeed. I mean, our expectation is for still lackluster retail sales in July, but given yesterday's data on the unemployment, which was way better than expected, we could see some upside risk linked to the Olympics, impacting consumption in July. But this being said, I think the underlying picture remains the same. Still weak activity in the UK, and this could translate into further QE when the current program ends in November.
All right, Thomas, many thanks.
Thank you.
Retailers also in focus on Wall Street later in the day. Second quarter earnings due from the world's biggest shop chain, Walmart, as well as Gap and Sears. All three set to defy the gloom with improved earnings per share. Right, let's get to Asia, find out what's going on over there. Japan threatening to deport 14 Chinese activists arrested for landing on a disputed island. Reuters' Lisa Eureka Thomas in Hong Kong has this for us. How damaging, Lisa, is this diplomatically?
Well, quite damaging. I mean, this is just more tensions between Japan and China. These 14 Chinese activists were arrested yesterday when they landed on an island chain claimed by both China and Japan. Yesterday was the 67th anniversary of the end of World War II. Control over Asia's seaways has become a hot-button issue this year, and this feud could risk upsetting one of the biggest trade flows in Asia.
All right, and some of China's leading tech companies reporting today. What are we expecting?
Well, it's been a mixed bag, really. China's biggest wireless carrier, China Mobile, disappoints. Q2 net profit comes in a tad below forecast. That sent shares down over 3%. Two big reasons for this: tough competition and costly handset subsidies. China Mobile has been paying out big subsidies for smartphones, hoping to entice subscribers to use more data. On the other hand, Lenovo shares, they're up nearly 4%. Q1 net profit up 30%, beating expectations. But the pace of growth was its slowest in 1.5 years, so definitely some concerns to watch there.
All right, Lisa, thanks a lot. Top world news stories on Reuters this morning. Brazil's president has launched a $66 billion stimulus package to spur investment for road and rail projects. The measures are part of a bid to shore up confidence, boost growth, and improve the country's aging and overburdened infrastructure before the 2014 Soccer World Cup and 2016 Olympic Games. Ecuador hits back over UK threats to raid its embassy in London to arrest WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange as a hostile and intolerable act and a violation of its sovereignty. Quito will announce its decision on Assange's asylum request at 12 GMT today. A deluge of Facebook shares will hit the market today as a lockup period preventing some insider sales comes to an end. 271 million shares will be freed up, prompting fears of further selling. But some analysts say the stock's recent slump to just above $20 from the IPO price of $38 may actually work in its favor, with insiders less likely to dump it as they hope for a recovery first. That's it. Our picture of the day shows the Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper talking with German Chancellor Angela Merkel at his official residence in Quebec. They're shown next to a traditional stone lakeside monument. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.